country and has personally visited every county in New York State, listening to people's concerns. The Sharpe Way is a show where answers, solutions, and common ground can be found so that together we can forge a new way forward. The Sharpe Way is the way to mutual respect, where no one has to convert to be heard, because you can be as liberal or as conservative as you want, as long as you aren't forcing your beliefs on others. Welcome to Sharpe Way Radio.
Oh, yes, it is Larry Sharpe here on Sharpe Way Radio, WYSL, Rochester, New York. So happy that you are with me this afternoon. Yes, you can call in if you want to. You can call in for the second, third, and fourth segments of the show if you like. 585-346-3000 and chat with me. I might say something fun. I might say something interesting. It's possible. But I was looking at the budget in New York State. You might go, well, that sounds boring, Larry. Well, yeah, I can be boring sometimes, but I can also be exciting. My day job, when I'm not doing this cool stuff, is I'm often a business consultant. And there's an exercise that many business consultants do when you're talking to a small business owner, someone who, say, owns a cleaning service or maybe a contractor or a small restaurant, something like that, small business like that. And you ask them a question and say, hey, what if all of a sudden you got $100,000? You don't have to pay it back. It's not a loan. It's a grant or a gift. You got $100,000. What do you do with it? You'd be amazed how often the small business owner will say something like this. Well, that's great. I'd pay off some debt. I might give my, I might put some more money into some equipment, or maybe buy some more stuff for the back room. I might give one of my employees a raise, that kind of thing. These are not bad things to do. They're not. And in your business, it may be awesome. But the question is, how are you growing with that money? And it is surprisingly shocking how few small business owners will go, oh, I would also take a chunk of that and put it into marketing or put it into sales or something that would get them to make more money. It's actually rare. Many of you who are not small business owners might go, oh, no, that sounds crazy. No, it's true. A lot of business owners would actually just immediately just go into defensiveness. The problem is, and I would tell people this all the time, you can't save your way to success. Not that savings is bad, not that putting some extra money in some equipment or giving one of your employees a raise is not a bad thing. I'm sure that could be a great thing. And is the issue. It isn't one or the other. It's do that, yes. Support your workers and your equipment, yes. And grow your business. You can do both because you cannot save your way to success. It's impossible. Well, when I saw our budget, I thought, someone doesn't have any business coaches in their world, because there is no place in our budget which actually shows how we grow. None. The entire budget is all about trying to desperately patch up problems with cash. Now, look, there are some issues in our state that the only way we can repair them, or even just to support people, is to throw some cash at them. I do get that. I'm not such an ideologue that I would say, no, let everybody starve, cut the budget. I'm not that guy. And if you've been listening to me, you know that I'm not. At the same time, there is an and that we also have to put something in a budget where we're going to grow. We're going to repair problems for the future. We're going to set up systems to where we have success. But if you look at our budget, it is all about throwing money at things. We are going to literally put $1 billion into our mental health, continuum mental health care plan, which again, not that I don't want to help people with mental health issues. Of course I do. I talk about it all the time. But where is the plan to have a better world, a better state, so we have less people who have mental health problems? There is none. This is just pacify those who are in trouble. That's it. Where's the rest of it? Where's the plan to get these people back in action? Where's the plan to get people working or back with families and relationships? Where's the plan to get them out of prison? Where's that plan? Where's the plan to encourage them to have new jobs? Where's that plan? Doesn't exist. That's the problem. So we throw $1 billion to service people who are in trouble. Okay, what's going to happen next year? They're still going to be in trouble. In fact, more people will be in trouble. So I guess the answer is more money? It is. And you might say to yourself, Larry, but why? The governor must understand this. I mean, she's not dumb, is she? I don't know if she's dumb. I assume she's not. I don't know the woman. She could be. I'm assuming she's not. So why is she doing it? Because what does $1 billion mean? See, if you listen to this, you would think to yourself, $1 billion, that's awesome. All these people with problems are getting checks for $1 billion. That's awesome. Not even close. Not even close. Your taxpayer money and, be clear, and Uncle Joe Biden's checks from the federal government are also helping this tremendously. They're coming in, I'm not joking, they're going to her friends because she's put them all in charge of all these bureaucracies that are going to be part of the mental health care, continuum of mental health care system, which the state runs. This is state money, taxpayer money, going back into state bureaucracies that have been failing us for decades and will continue to fail. You will hear me say often, why in the world would government fail so often? Why do they fail so often? Because they're rewarded for failure. That's the reason why. If every time you screwed up, I gave you more money, you would keep screwing up, wouldn't you? If every time you messed up, I was like, oh, you screwed up? Here's more money. In fact, here's money to give to your friend so your friend can join you in screwing up. You're like, this is awesome. Should I keep screwing up? Well, if you do, I'll keep giving you more money. Will you let me give money to my friends too? Yeah, family too. Sister, cousin, brother. Yeah, it doesn't matter. You give money to all of them if you want to. And they do. So they keep failing. So we keep poorly servicing the people who are the most desperate. We keep failing them and then patting ourselves in the back because we put more money at it, which they still fail. That's okay. We're doing something else here. We're going to spend $100 million, quote, to protect abortion access and strengthen New York State's safe harbor access. What does that mean? That sounds amazing, doesn't it? Sounds awesome. If you live in New York, as I do, is there any problem getting an abortion in New York? None. Hasn't been for decades. None. If you want an abortion in New York State, you're good. You can get one when you want, how you want, all good. So why would you need to put $100 million towards that? Well, there's two reasons. Number one, the first one is I have to virtue signal. I have to tell you that, see, I'm so supportive that I'm going to make something that's already super legal, super duper legal. It is so legal. It is the most legal of all the legal. I have to do that first. And number two, now, no matter what your view on abortion is, here comes the worst part. Your taxpayer dollars is going to pay for other people who have abortions. So you're not just going to pay for your own. You can pay for others because she has the virtue signal. Because New York State has to have a, quote, safe harbor access, which means now you're in a state that doesn't have good abortion laws for you. You say, that's okay. I'll call up New York State. They'll send me a bus ticket. I'm not joking. I'll hop on a bus. They'll get me a hotel room. I'm not joking. Pay for my abortion and send me home. Win-win. It's amazing. If you're in a state that has tough abortion laws, vote for harsher ones. Who cares? Just come to New York, pay for your trip, you're all good. $100 million for that. Is that the biggest issue we have in New York State? How's that? I have a better idea. Where's the part where we're spending money to put women in a better position to where they don't want to choose abortion? Where's the money for that? Where's the abortion? Where's the money for that? It doesn't exist. Absolutely. Now, when I'm done, you already are pulling your hair out. I know you are. Well, any hair you have left over, that's coming out next because we're not done. We're now going to spend $24 billion to help with education. Education. If you think that New York State needs more money for education, you're not paying attention. We literally spend the most of the entire country, not even close. We're not there yet, but we're pushing $40,000 per student. We're not there yet. We're on our way. By next year after, we're at $40,000 per student. Literally, you could just write a check to every parent for $20,000, save money, and have better education. I'm not even joking. We could literally just go, you know what? No, we're not going to fund education at all. We're just going to write a check for $20,000 to every parent for every kid they have. We would save money and we'd all go to private schools. I wish I was joking. That literally could happen. Your kid's special needs? Here's 20 grand, send it to a private school. Your kid's not special needs? Here's 20 grand, send it to a private school. And we would save money in this state and have better education. That's how bad it is, and we're throwing more money at it. And then we're throwing money to build stuff for SUNY and CUNY. Those schools. So New York State schools, which already aren't producing graduates who can get jobs. So let's make sure we'll spend more money so kids can live with their parents in the basement. Where's the part that lowers rent for kids who are young? I'm sorry, I shouldn't say kids, but for me, I'm an old man, so it's kids for me. In your 20s to go get a house or to rent an apartment. Where's that? Where's the tax breaks for people who start businesses? Where's that? Where's the support for gig workers, for people who are trying to change jobs or shift in what they do with their life? Where's that? Nowhere. How are we supporting businesses? We're not. Instead, we're going to raise the minimum wage to $16 and $15. That's our goal. Am I against raising that necessarily? No. But how are you going to support the businesses so they can pay for it? Nothing here supports growth. Nothing does. But we want New York State to grow. Or do we? As our people keep leaving and our businesses keep leaving and our young keep leaving, our answer is more government jobs. Unsustainable. Am I wrong? You can tell me. 585-346-3000 is the number. Larry Sharpe on Sharpe Way Radio, WYSL Rochester, New York. Back with your calls and your chat after the break.
Why do businesses choose to move their website from Wix and Squarespace to SimpleTech Innovations? Maybe it's their excellent customer service or attention to detail. Maybe it's their ability to give a truly customized solution. Or perhaps they just like the fact that SimpleTech is a local small business that builds great relationships with its clients. Whatever the reason may be, you can rest assured knowing that the local team at SimpleTech has your best interest in mind when building or updating your website. They're hands-on and love helping customers achieve their goals. But don't take my word for it. They've won the best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. If your website doesn't match your dreams or isn't achieving your goals, give the professionals at SimpleTech Innovations a call today for a consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. SimpleTech Innovations.
Inside the Taylor Laboratories.
Hey, Tony, what you doing?
A little experiment, Zach. Look what I have under the microscope.
Ugh, what's that?
A sample of indoor air.
How can it be that dirty? Don't AC and furnace filters help?
Only with dust, Zach. But when Taylor installs a whole house APCO air purifier to detox the air, odors, chemicals, mold, bacteria, and viruses are removed.
For clean indoor air.
Yep. Ain't science awesome?
Taylor, 500 help. With incompetent, devious Washington and Albany leadership and a corrupt corporate media that uses news and social to control and mislead, it's important to preserve freedom of speech and to promote a truth-based society for our families. Try something different in 2023. The WYSL stations can grow your business, professional practice, or organization, so allocate your ad dollars here. Take advantage of a huge audience, entertained and informed by leading conservative thought. Affordable and effective. The WYSL stations, the voice of liberty. Call 346-3000 to advertise.
Sharpe Way Radio on the WYSL stations.
Yes, it is Larry Sharpe back here on Sharpe Way Radio, WYSL, Rochester, New York, 585-346-3000 is the number to call me and tell me that I'm right or that I'm wrong. You should tell me that I'm right because I am. But you can tell me I'm wrong. I'm up. You guys know I take the wrongs also. I take them both. No worries. Before the break, I was talking about how the New York State budget is pouring money into just trying to stop the bleeding. That's not even true. It's trying to, wow, I got to find a good example because we're still bleeding. To limit the bleeding. There we go. Yes, our budget doesn't even stop the bleeding. It just tries to limit the bleeding so that the body stays alive barely, but just not being able to function. There we go. That's a perpetual state of pain and suffering. And to be forward, that is a challenge. I mean, it isn't easy. So I guess kudos for that, I guess. I mean, you haven't killed the patient yet. It's like a parasite that just tries to keep you alive, but doesn't want to keep you strong enough to stop it. That's kind of what New York State's trying to do to us. It's working, sadly. It definitely is. But again, the worst part of this is as they do it with a righteousness that is actually shocking. And a righteousness that most New Yorkers still to this day, through all of this pain, through all of this failure, still say, wow, look how good we are. Look at what we're doing. Because we care about climate change, because that's what's critical for New York State. By the way, in case you didn't know this, New York State, again, this is literal, check it yourself if you want to, we have the lowest carbon footprint of all the states per capita. Lowest. So even if that's critical for you, and I know for many people, this is critical, okay, we're already the best in the country. Can we chill and help ourselves a little bit? Instead of banning more stuff, punishing us more? We're number one right now. Can't we just stay there? I get it. Some people care tremendously. Okay, awesome. You're winning. You can stop punching now. Can we now keep going to the next step? But that's our key. And we're going to support workers. I get that. And I agree with that conceptually. I want to support workers. You've heard me say it more than once. But then how do you support the businesses so they can support the workers? All you do is order businesses to do more stuff. How do you support them so they can afford to do the stuff you tell them to do? Yeah, that's how New York State works. New York State goes to counties and says, counties, you will do these things. Okay, great. You get a passport? No. But how are we going to do the thing you told us to do? Just do it. It's called an unfunded mandate all over New York State. Counties, you will do this. Okay, but we don't have the money for it. I don't care. Do it. If you don't do what we tell you, the money that we're going to give you will stop giving you. So you get even less money. So what does a county do? It does desperate things. When you put people in desperate situations, they act desperately. Shocker. So what do counties do? They create fines and fees. They use their law enforcement as a profit center, and they punish their people around them to raise the money because the state forced them to do it. Well, Larry, they should push back and say no. I agree. However, what if you're that mayor? What if you're that county executive? What if you're that county legislature? County legislature. You're that person, and you push back. Well, your party throws you out if you even survive. But say you survive. You're a tough guy. You survive. Well, now the state punishes you. It says, we're not going to give you the money that you were supposed to get for other things. So now your county or your city or your town now suffers because you don't have any money. People get mad at you. Your people are suffering now. Did you really win? It only works if we all push back or if we change the system, which is what I keep talking about. It's where Albany doesn't have all the money. The money stays local. So that's my point. If I want local businesses to pay their workers more, which I do, I'd be forward. I want local businesses to pay their workers a lot. I would like a job to be a living wage. That'd be awesome. I want it to happen. I can't just order it. That's not how it works. I can't just go, I order you to pay everybody a living wage. That's not how it works. I have to support these local businesses so they can afford to pay the living wage. I know this sounds crazy. It sounds almost common sense, because it is. But if I actually do that, if I actually create policies that would support local businesses, how do I give my friends jobs? I can't. If I can't give my friends jobs, well, why would I want to be in politics? That's stupid. Like to serve the people or something? God, you guys are idiots. You would think that. Of course not. You into politics so you and your friends can make money. It's the grift Olympics. That's what it is, right? And the longer you stay in, the more money you make. The more friends you make, the more money you can give out, which is literally what's happening every time. That's why our budget keeps going up. $230 billion is New York State's budget. Only California and about 19 countries have a higher budget. That's it, than New York. One state and 19 countries have a higher budget than New York State. And there's almost 200 countries in the world, 190 some odd, almost 200. So we are in like the top 20. Look at us go. And we're not even a country. It's amazing how much money we spend. And the best part is, per capita, per person, we spend more than any state, more than California. Take that, California. We waste more than you. Number one. It's us. And we keep spending. But the worst part is, do things get better? Are people happier? Do you feel like your state's better if you live in New York right now? I don't. Not at all.
Roger.
Let me grab a quick comment real fast. This is a comment from YouTube. It's from Michael Voss. Larry, these are the people that spent $15 billion to end poverty. And then there's more poverty today than at any point in the last 50 years. Yes, right? The war on poverty makes more poverty. The war on drugs makes more drugs. Win-win. When are we going to have the war on Larry being awesome? Then I'll be more awesome. We need that war. You're totally right, Michael. I appreciate it. Let me grab a call if I could. This is Roger from Nassau. Roger, how are you, sir?
Hey, Larry, what's up? Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, good. All right, so I looked that up. So according to Learner.com, New York State invests the most, but we don't spend the most. Don't know what the difference is, but it doesn't say $20,000 per student that we should just give to parents. It actually says $25,000 and change. So that's pretty interesting. Now,
well, one of the things I'll bring up, Roger, you asked the question, I'm happy to answer it. When I was running for office in the past, I said one of the biggest problems we have is administrators. You're right. We spend the most per student, but not on the student. You're correct. Most of our cash goes to admin and bureaucracy and also pensions. So it goes to that. The money's not going to the kids. So it isn't the amount of money we're spending. It is our system itself that's broken.
Okay.
That's why I was kind of joking, but not joking when I said, just write a check to the parents. At least the money would actually go to the kid. Now it's not.
So regarding raising the minimum wage, this is the reason why I say provide tax subsidies to small and medium-sized businesses to cover 85 to 100% of their labor costs so they won't feel the impact of the raising of the minimum wage. As their business grows, the subsidy shrinks.
I'm agreeing with you. Where is that in our budget? It's not. Up against the break. I apologize, Roger. But Roger's correct. That's what I'm talking about. Where's the point where you support the business so they can support the minimum wage? You got to have both, not just one. Roger is correct. Anyway, I apologize for that. Up on a break, and I have to go, but I will take care of you guys' phone calls and your chat after the break. Larry Sharpe, Sharpe Way Radio, WYSL Rochester, New York, 585-346-3000. Back after the break.
For truth and freedom.
WYSL.
AM 1040 Avon Rochester, FM 92.1 Rochester, and FM 95.5 Spencerport.
Here's the new NBC forecast on WYSL. For overnight tonight, it could be a touch muggy at times as dew points climb into the upper 50s, but we're expecting mainly clear skies with a low of 56. Then as we head into tomorrow, dew points generally sit in the 50s, so it will remain comfortable. High of 85 degrees expecting the afternoon with plenty of sunshine. Then heading in Wednesday night, looks like mainly clear skies with a mild night, a low of 58. I'm First Alert Meteorologist Alex Bielfeld on your WYSL stations.
Spring savings and selection are everywhere at the all-new Victor Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram 6484 Route 96 in Victor. Try these deals. Choose from 10 2023 Grand Cherokee L4x4s, 20% off Overland models. Lease a 2023 Jeep Compass in bright white clear coat, only $399 a month for 42 months with $3,000 down. Must have lease and household. A Ram 1500 Crew Cab Bighorn 4x4 pickup in diamond black pearl coat is $429 a month for 42 months with $3,500 down. The 23 Jeep Wrangler 4XE Willis convertible is just $359 a month for 36 months with $3,500 down. All these deals require first payment. DMV taxes and fees due at signing. Other conditions may apply. See dealer for details. We welcome Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram customers in Victor, Canandaigua, Macedon, Fairport, and Finger Lakes. The selection's great, and they're ready with your deal at the most beautiful new vehicle sales and service dealership in the area. Victor Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, now at 6484 Route 96, just east of Victor.
Why do businesses choose to move their website from Wix and Squarespace to SimpleTech Innovations? Maybe it's their excellent customer service or attention to detail. Maybe it's their ability to give a truly customized solution. Or perhaps they just like the fact that SimpleTech is a local small business that builds great relationships with its clients. Whatever the reason may be, you can rest assured knowing that the local team at SimpleTech has your best interest in mind when building or updating your website. They're hands-on and love helping customers achieve their goals. But don't take my word for it. They've won the best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. If your website doesn't match your dreams or isn't achieving your goals, give the professionals at SimpleTech Innovations a call today for a consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. SimpleTech Innovations.
Visit Genesee Country Village Museum Friday, June 2nd, 5:30 to 8:30 p.m. for a happy hour set in the 19th century historic village. Sample local craft beers, wines, and ciders, including Genesee Country Village Museum's own historical brews. Live music, food, and enjoy after-hours access to the museum. Space is limited. Tickets must be purchased in advance at gcv.org. Must be 21 and have valid ID to enter.
The colors are red for valor, white for innocence, and blue for justice. Our nation's flag proclaims liberty for all, and our military service members continue to fight for the right to live in freedom. Honor their service and sacrifice with an American-made flag from the Stars and Stripes Flag Store. Visit eflagstore.com to shop now. All proceeds support Veterans Outreach Center and local veterans.
I'm Stephen Nichols. Since 1984, Nichols has been a family-operated and trusted name for home service, where we provide plumbing and electrical installation and service. Nichols service technicians are background checked, and we build our company on world-class communication. Serving Monroe County and the surrounding areas, call 585-427-9310. That's 585-427-9310. Or visit nicholsep.com. We would love to serve you in your home.
While many local collision and repair shops have been gobbled up by national chains with their impersonal touch, Flower City Collision remains locally owned and operated. The shop was started by a local veteran who taught his son Zach the basics in customer service and providing customers value. Flower City doesn't work with a specific insurance company. They want to be your advocate. If you need a repair, reach out to Zach at Flower City Collision in Henrietta. He will work with your national insurance company to ensure you get the repair you need done right.
I was running late for work. Backing out of the driveway, I ran over my wife's cat. Showing up late, they fired me. Then my upset wife left me. Then I called Western New York Sealing and Paving. They did a great job on my driveway. Thanks, Western New York.
Some situations may be over-dramatized.
WNYPave.com. That's WNYPave.com.
Call 247-8466. 247-8466.
Sharpe Way Radio on the WYSL stations.
Yes, it is Larry Sharpe. Back yet again. So happy to have you here. And sorry for our caller, Roger. I apologize coming up against that break. But I want to be clear. Roger's point is a valid point. He's saying we are spending all this money, but it's not in the kids. Correct. There are several things we can do to fix this. One thing I mentioned in the past was we should have two separate unions. We should have a teachers union and an administrators union. They're two separate people with two separate ideas, have two separate unions. Why would that matter? Because then you have to see how much the actual administrators are getting. Then you might say, well, Larry, don't we need administrators? Nowhere near the amount we need. The average teacher in New York makes about $70,000 a year, give or take, which is a living wage in New York State. The average administrator makes over $150,000. Some make $300,000 or $400,000 a year. To do what? They don't even see kids. They work in a building that there's not even any kids in the building. They make all that money? No, don't need you. Sorry, you got to go. You got to go. Most of them are there to make sure we follow federal and state guidelines to get more money. I'm not joking. This is actually true. So why in the world do I want them? I don't. Money needs to go directly to the kid, follow the kid. Now, even if you want to make the money go to the school district based upon the kids, I'm okay with that too. But I spoke about all these issues. This is the way you change the system. Otherwise, all we're doing is throwing more money down the tube to give more teachers, administrators, more money to not do a good job. Now, am I mad at teachers? I'm actually not. And there's a lot of people who are mad at teachers. I'm not one of them. And the reason is teachers are stuck in a terrible system. Give them two separate unions, and teachers now can fight back against the administrators, which is what most of them want to do, which is why most of them leave. Or they just say, I can't survive as a teacher, I'll become an administrator. So they join. We can fix this. It's repairable. But we have to make sure that we don't just throw more money at it, which is what we're doing right now. And his second point about how am I going to give workers more money if I don't support the businesses so they can afford to give workers more money? This is not a bad idea. It's not. Roger gets it too. He's like, hey, Roger wants workers to get more money. Me too. If you're a worker, I'd like us all to make a minimum of $25, $30. That'd be amazing. I hope we all can make that kind of money. You kind of got to make the business make some money, though, right? They have to be able to afford you in some way. Now, I know the argument is, and I hear it all the time, the argument is you don't want to give tax breaks to businesses because they'll just take the money and put it in their pocket. Generally speaking, and there are some exceptions, obviously, you have bad business owners, but that's much more common for big business than small. It's not even close. In fact, if you know any small business owners, many of them have gone through phases in their business where they make less than their employees. There were times in my business, particularly in 2008, 2009, when I was collapsing, where I wasn't getting a paycheck when my employees were. I literally was getting paid nothing, but I was still paying my employees. So that happens often in small business, which also why Roger's talking about you change the benefit as the business gets bigger, particularly when like the public companies and such, then they just screw workers. They don't care at all, right? That's just how it works. It becomes more worried about the stock price than anything else. I'm talking small local businesses. We should be supporting them so they can give real salaries to local people so they can stay in their counties, stay in their cities, stay with their families, and do better. I completely agree. But I want to go to someplace not just business, but also just where you live. And New York State's public housing is embarrassingly bad. And I mean embarrassingly bad. If you think it's going well, you're not paying attention or you're an ideologue. It is terrible. It's embarrassing. So what's the answer? Well, our budget, we are now going to give $391 million more dollars to NYCHA, Section 8 housing, just more money to them. So they failed. Here's more money. I wasn't joking when I said that earlier. That's why they keep failing. If you fail, you get rewarded. Well, Larry, you're mean because you want poor people to have bad housing. Of course not. Of course not. The reality of this is, if you are wealthy or savvy, either one, sometimes people who are wealthy aren't savvy, they're lucky. Sometimes they're both. Depends. Some people aren't wealthy, are savvy. Does happen. When you leave your home, you get a check. Why? Because you often buy or you invest in some way that when you leave, you get a check and you're prepared to move to the next level. But if you just rent, when you leave, if you're lucky, maybe you get half of your security back. Maybe. Probably not, but maybe you get half of that back. That's about it. You're done. If you lose your house, you're done. What does that mean? It means we need more people who have an ownership mindset. Well, what are you talking about, Larry? Instead of just throwing $391 million more money at a broken system to reward failure, to give money to our friends and their cronies, instead, why don't we start a rent-to-own system, which I talked about for literally 5 years now. You're in public housing. Why don't you shift into rent-to-own? So as you begin renting, you start gaining ownership in your property. It's now your property. Now, if you've ever been a landlord, ever been a renter and an owner, if you've been in that world at all, you know one thing is true, guaranteed. People who own their homes treat their homes better. That may make you angry. No, I was a renter and I was good. Maybe you were the exception. It's possible. But over the course of time, without question, it's true. People who own their homes treat them better than those who rent them. That's just a fact. Over time, there are obviously exceptions. Some homeowners are terrible homeowners and some renters are amazing. Of course, over time. So why wouldn't I want more people to own their homes? I'll have better Section 8 housing. I'll have better public housing. And eventually the public housing will be owned by all the renters eventually. It will become privatized by default, but not by people who are gentrifying coming in, not by a big bank that buys it, by the individual people who live there in their neighborhood. They can own their own property, their own neighborhood, their own building. What is wrong with that? It might take 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. Fine, I don't care. I don't care if it takes 30 years. So what? This is a sustainable, growing period to where now people locally can own their own property. You might go, but Larry, what if those people are on public assistance? What if they're on public assistance? And are we now paying for them to own a home? Well, we have an option. We can pay their rent forever, or we can pay for them to own their home so they can go get a job, so they can go feel comfortable about themselves, so they can raise their kids with some stability. So maybe the kids will go off to school and get good jobs. We can do that. Or we can pay their rent forever. I'd rather not pay their rent forever. I'd rather give people a real opportunity for growth. Note what I said earlier in the show. Where is the part in this budget that gives people the opportunity to grow, to get better, to get stronger, to not need the government? Where is that in this bill? You're going to be searching for a real long time because there's nothing in the bill that does that. Now, that's the idea I just brought up. If you can drop all these millions and billions, you can't turn that instead into a rent-to-own program? Will some people not want to own? Sure. Will some people blow it off? Yeah. But right now, most of them are. Most of them are. Because there's no rent-to-own program. So why don't we create the rent-to-own program? We do that. You'll have more people. I don't know how many. Is it 20%, 50%, 80%? I don't care if it's 10%. That's 10% more than now. I'll take it. Others will see it and go, wait a minute. This is a better answer. So I can own my own home? I can own my own apartment? Me and all of us together, the people who grew up together, we can own this building and we can rethink about our lives. We can maybe borrow against it and start a business. We can maybe hand something down to our children so they can start with the leg up. Huh. I like that idea. Are we doing that? No. In no case are we doing anything in this entire piece of our budget. $230 billion. Where is the part we're helping people to actually move forward? We're not. There's now, I told you, $24 billion plus another $2 billion for K through 12 and SUNY and CUNY. Where's the part that says we're going to actually have better curriculum that's going to help people get jobs? That's not there. This goes right to Roger's point. This is going to go to administrators and construction people that are friends of Kathy and her cronies. I'm sorry, Queen Kathy, first of her name. So they'll all go to all her friends and family, all to those people. People support her. They'll get jobs, but they won't actually make the colleges any better. They're not good now, in case you hadn't noticed. They're not good. No repair on that. $1 billion for healthcare capital funding to create a stronger healthcare system for the future. I like that. That sounds amazing. Where's the part where it's more affordable? Oh, we don't have that part. Where's the part where we're supporting healthier lifestyles and healthier people? We're stopping neighborhoods from where's the part where we allow neighborhoods to actually have health food stores in their neighborhoods? Oh, we don't talk about that. How about where people can actually go shopping at an actual big grocery store and not have to go shopping at a CVS or have to go to a bodega? Not that I'm against bodegas. I think bodegas are amazing. I'm from the Bronx, love bodegas. That should not be the mainstay of your shopping, though. That should be, I forgot something. I'm coming home from work. Let me stop by the bodega. Or I'm heading up to get my breakfast ham and cheese sandwich as I head off to work. Okay, great for bodega. That should not be the place where you get your vegetables. Assuming you get any vegetables. Where's that? That would make healthier people, healthier kids. Where's that part? Where's the part where we don't give up all our money to sugar corporations to put sugar food in the school system? Where's that part? Nowhere. It's nowhere. And now we're going to give billions of dollars to the MTA. Yes. Again, failed miserably. Going to throw more money to the MTA here in New York City. So for those of you who live upstate, thank you yet again for paying for my subway rides. At least I will thank you for it. Right? Most people in New York City will just take your money and not thank you. I am going to say thank you for paying for my subway system. So next time you come by, let me know. I'll do a swipe for you. You should ride it at least once. I mean, you paid for it. At least get a ride on it. Something, right? So thank you again for paying for my MTA. So we're doing that. Where's the part that makes the MTA better or cheaper? Where's that part? There is no part. I went this entire segment asking one important question. Where's the part where things get better? $230 billion, and you can't find one. All you find is patchwork with your dollars. That just keeps things worse and worse. Oh my God, I'm doom and gloom. All right, I'm gonna give you some good news. I'll make some up if I have to. I will, I promise. Larry Sharpe, Sharpe Way Radio, WYSL, Rochester, New York, 585-346-3000. Back with your calls and your chat. I promise I'll take care of the chat from the internet after the break.
Your business relies on computers and technology to operate. Slow, unreliable networks and servers can cause unplanned downtime and affect your bottom line. The experts at Simple Tech Innovations are here to help. Their preventative maintenance program ensures that your computers and network are kept up to date and monitored for any issues, keeping your business running smoothly. They also help clients achieve HIPAA, PCI, and New York State cybersecurity compliance to keep your network safe and secure. Whatever your business IT needs are, Simple Tech Innovation.
Okay, we have Keith from Rochester.
He won the best in Rochester 8 years
You're welcome.
in a
He
row
said he'd
and
make
have
it
an
a fast
A+
comment.
Business Bureau rating. Call them today for a free consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. Simple Tech Innovations.
Don't hate your home. Pick up the phone and call Wise Home Energy. The Energy Star Contractor of the Year, Wise Home Energy would like to thank our clients and employees for this prestigious award. For the 6th year in a row, thank you for choosing Wise Home Energy for solving your ice issues, improving hot and cold rooms, and reducing high energy bills. So don't hate your home. Pick up the phone and call Wise Home Energy at 585-270-5836 today.
With incompetent, devious Washington and Albany leadership and a corrupt corporate media that uses news and social to control and mislead, it's important to preserve freedom of speech and to promote a truth-based society for our families. Try something different in 2023. The WYSL stations can grow your business, professional practice, or organization, so allocate your ad dollars here. Take advantage of a huge audience entertained and informed by leading conservative thought. Affordable and effective. The WYSL stations, the voice of liberty. Call 346-3000 to advertise.
Sharpe Way Radio on the WYSL station.
Oh, yes. It is Larry Sharpe here, Sharpe Way Radio, WYSL, Rochester, New York. So happy that you give me a small chunk of your afternoon. I do appreciate it. Before the break, I was talking about how the budget just patches things up. It doesn't actually try to fix anything. And there's no place for growth. Yes. I got a note from the chat that says, how dare you take away our free stuff? And I think that part is kind of real. And what I mean by that is, if you give someone something for free, I'm using air quotes, for enough time, they start to believe that it's theirs, right? They believe that they're entitled to it now because they've had it for so long. I think the brain does shift. There's a mindset that says it's I deserve this free stuff. I think it's a valid point. And if we don't shift that mindset and say, look, you can have ownership of your life, your company, your business, your home. If we don't change that mindset, I think people keep nicking that. So let me grab a call if I could. This is Keith from Rochester. Keith, how are you, sir?
The person who just made that comment has had the gumption and initiative knocked right out of them. And for us conservatives, that's what government wants. Here's the answer to your question during the last hour. The downside, the downfall of any economic system, and not just capitalism, is that it does not provide evenly across all income levels. And someone's going to say, well, Keith, you just answered your question. Everyone's income is different. But to bring this full circle, let's start at the high end of the housing industry. You've heard of Toll Brothers, the makers of luxury homes, Toll, T-O-L-L, Toll Brothers.
Yep, very big here in New York City.
All right, they just had a record quarter. So the answer is, why is it that the mechanisms, government or outside of government, are in place for Toll Brothers to go big, whereas conservatives say the Department of Housing, Urban, and Development should have been vanquished decades ago? The answer is, whatever makes Toll Brothers click, outfits like them go, 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 and show record profits, that should go down throughout the economy so that whatever even lower income level you are, you get housing equivalent to you simply being a human being. And some of my fellow conservatives are going to go, oh, no, that's not possible. Well, if we got the government out of it, we could have Toll Brothers initiatives at every level of income, and then the government would be out of it. Everyone, since you know Toll Brothers, without me going long here, because I can't, what makes Toll Brothers click and that at lower levels of income, adequate housing cannot be provided? Why is it Toll Brothers, with their luxury homes, they go, 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 and their equivalent at lower level income housing building is not to be found? That's because the government interferes and knocks these private builders out of the game, or else makes them have to deal with big government. I mean it. So, housing, urban, and development should have been shut down decades ago. Let private builders come in at all levels of income so that even the poorest Americans have good housing, just like Toll Brothers manages their business.
I'm going to give you an example of what you just talked about in another country to show that what you're talking about actually can work. And that country, believe it or not, is Japan. People might say, wait a minute, Japan? Japan has like no homelessness. That's true. And there are many reasons for that. But two of them, of the reasons that they have virtually no homelessness, two of those reasons are what you just said, Keith. One of them, in Japan, their regulations relative to other industrialized countries are non-existent. You can build big, small, whatever you want, build all day long. Japanese are like, build. Tokyo is becoming a massive city that actually, believe it or not, has crossed outside of its own boundaries. It would be as if New York City crossed into Connecticut and crossed into New Jersey. That is how big Tokyo's getting, because they say, build. We want housing for people. Build, damn it, build. And where are all the buildings collapsing in Japan? Where are the people dying in fires in Japan? It's not happening. It's not a thing, right? So that, to first your point, Keith, yes, that's number one. We should be doing that. Follow that model for that. The second piece, though, for people who are homeless, the private sector has stepped in to have tiny apartments and actually small cafes that will keep people there overnight for as little as $20 a night. So if you are working poor and you can swing $20 a night, you have a place to stay without having to go through government bureaucracy. And it's a clean place with a bathroom. It's humane. You're not staying in a shelter. It's a place you can stay. So I think to both of those points, the people who build those are not government. In both cases, the people who build those are literally private sector. The government allows them to do that. You couldn't do that in New York State. They would stop you. No. They have to go to the shelter. Why do you have to go to the shelter? Because that's how my friend makes money, because he builds shelters. It's government money. So I guess, Keith, what I'm saying is you're right. There's a country that's actually doing it already.
Well, in closing, if you take the obstacles out of the way, builders, believe it or not, can make a profit on the low end. When you said
Yes.
$20 a night, get the government out of the way, all the restrictions. You tell me as I hang up here why builders who would build, I'm talking about private builders, not government, why if they built truly low-income housing, they could still make out bandits like at the high end, ever-present Toll Brothers. Why can't we see that low-income housing can be truly profitable for truly private companies? I don't understand why Americans put up with this garbage. All Americans today must be of a different breed than I grew up knowing. It's very sad. Our country is in decline. Socialism is becoming rampant. Everyone, like the caller who said, oh, don't take away my entitlements. Everyone today, again, on the government teat, and we are going down if we don't get rid of socialism and big government. It's horrible, and Americans should be ashamed that they put up with it. It's very bad, and we are in decline. Thank you. Bye.
Well, thank you, Keith. As always, Keith has good points. I like that. He's very passionate. He cares about this country and about this state. And, he has valid points. I think the problem is I don't believe that it is so bad we can't recover. I think we can recover. I think we absolutely can. I think if we have the right policies, we can recover. If we support the people who are in bad spaces, not to just keep them there, right? The problem with socialism in general, it's not 100% rule, but it's a good general rule, is that the bottom becomes the norm. Meaning, okay, we should at least have this. We all have that. But the wealthy have the good stuff. I want everyone to have the good stuff. That's a whole lot harder to achieve. And we got to do it with good policy, and we got to let the free market do some of its work. Private sector too. Government's got to help too. It can be done. So see, I ended on a positive thing. Guys, thank you so much for giving me a chunk of your afternoon. I will see you all very soon.